iHeart Podcasts. Hear more Gold 101.7 podcasts.
Playlists and listen live on the free iHeart app.
Hey, hey, everybody, it's time for Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Hey, 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 everybody, it's time for Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.
On the cutting room floor today, we find...
Well, can I ask you an aesthetic question?
Sure.
What do you think of the really popular procedure, the plastic surgery procedure of the BBL, which I thought was a cricket term, but it's the Brazilian butt lift.
Yeah.
So it's like the Kardashian body shape and the Cardi B's and all of that, where you slim to the waist and then like a horse almost, a very high, round, like a bowling ball buttock arrangement. Yeah. Do you like the look?
I like the natural look. I don't like the...
It doesn't come naturally to a lot of people.
That BBL...
Anglo-Saxons, not so much.
No, and in the old days, that's why the ladies used to wear a bustle to give that...
Small waist.
Yep, the corset. So now we're
hips.
doing it. But that wasn't anything surgical. That was just an outfit. The dress gave you the bustle.
Yeah, and you're quite right. These days... If you wore those old dresses, you wouldn't need the bustle. You'd have that natural look.
I do often wonder, sometimes when I sit down and I've got my wallet in my back pocket, it feels uncomfortable. So I wonder if you had a BBL, would it feel uncomfortable, feel like you got something in there?
This is what the procedure is. It's been reported 90% increase in the Brazilian butt lift between 2015 and 2022, and even more since then, I would say. The Brazilian butt lift is a surgical procedure that enhances the buttocks by transferring fat from other parts of the body. So you might take fat from your abdomen, your thighs, your lower back.
Oh, you're right, back fat.
I guess that's not your lower back.
Yeah, you might have a bit of back fat down in your lower back.
Anyway, they use liposuction to suck that out.
Yep.
And then you combine that. So you harvest the fat and then you graft that back. You inject it into the buttocks. A separate viable fat cells for transfer, and that it's placed in specific areas to achieve the desired shape and volume. I mean, it's just going to inject it so you've got cellulite. What would be the point? What is interesting to me in this, you like the look. It's an attractive look, I'm guessing, but it's fashionable. Do you just dissolve your butt lift when the fashions change? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But here's an unspoken about side effect. Lean in.
Okay.
Apparently there's such a thing as the BBL smell.
The BBL smell?
An unpleasant side effect.
Why?
Caused by a range of things, including tissue death and unhygienic practices. Let's start with tissue death. One complication of BBLs is fat necrosis, which causes fatty tissue in the buttocks to die following surgery, an indicator that the patient was overfilled with fat during the procedure. Because for all the ones you see with the Kardashians, they're using the top-end surgeons.
Yep.
There'd be other surgeons who wouldn't be quite as good. If you get overfilled, you'll get this necrosis and your cells start to die. When there's more fat in an area than the blood supply allows, it says, the fat will die through a smelly process called fat necrosis. It can lead to infections that need antibiotics, hospitalizations, and can lead to sepsis. There's also another reason, lean in for this. If only I could.
Look, I've landed too far now.
Well, it can also come from uncleanliness.
Oh, yeah.
As someone has posted under a story about the the BBL smell, someone said when God created us, he gave us arms.
Yeah.
All our arms are made specifically for our body. You might have a hard time taking care of things because your body is a little wider than your arms are allowing you to reach.
It's true.
Plastic surgeons apparently typically give their patients fair warning about these new difficulties in the bathroom. Sitting isn't allowed for about 2 months after having a BBL.
Oh, goodness.
Sitting on the loo for a quick bathroom visit is allowed, apparently, but physicians often recommend bidets to wash the area thoroughly. One doctor has said, if the smell is really strong or getting worse or is accompanied along with redness, swelling or discharge, sorry to be unpleasant, everyone, it's a sign that infection or fluid has built up and you should reach out to a surgeon. So be aware that when you're having these procedures, there are some other things you need to think about.
And that's something you can get in your innovations catalogue as well, the reach out stick for wiping your bum.
Yeah.
You seen those things?
I have.
That's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a thing for people who are obese. And now maybe
For the BBL.
for the BBL, which once again, don't confuse with a cricket term.
You don't want the BBLS.
What, leaking something? What's
Well,
it?
with the BBL smell.
No,
The
you
B's-
don't.
Yeah, it's like the
No,
BB.
no one wants that. No one says, I'm only in it for the smell. Imagine, though, you can't sit down for 2 months.
Oh.
You'd have to host meetings lying on
Yeah.
your side.
You wouldn't be able to work for the government.
Nice.
It's the cutting room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
On the cutting room floor, what do you think of swingers? Have you ever been into swinging?
No. I don't think swinging works. I've got a friend who's a police officer,
Mm-hmm.
and he says here's why it doesn't work. Because often, this is a generalisation, but this is often how it goes.
Go on.
Is it the male in a partnership, and swingers, they're presumably your couples, aren't you? The male says, I want to try this, and to be compliant, the female goes along. And then what happens is the female forms an emotional attachment to a third party.
Yeah.
And then partner number one gets outraged and a lot of trouble comes from it. Police hate swingers parties for that very reason.
That's why you've, you just stick to the blokes.
Who?
If you're going to be
You?
a swinger, me, that's what I do.
That's right. Stick to the blokes because they get less
Just hang with
jealous.
the blokes.
Because
They'll be all right.
There's no emotional attachments.
Yeah,
you
mate.
Just, you just do
Exactly
what you
it.
do and get out.
It's true. If I don't talk to my mates for a few days, they don't get all bent out of shape. They're all
Been
right.
out of shape's unfortunate phrase.
If you want to do that, mate, that's fine. Anyway, so you don't like swingers. You're
Don't make it sound like I'm being judged for it.
You're not a big swingers fan. What about a swingers festival? That would not be in your wheelhouse.
What happens in a swingers festival?
Well, let me tell you, in Allington, which is 2 hours north of London, they have a swingathon.
Right.
And a lot of 1,000 people go along to this thing.
Do they? Are they singles? Swingles.
I'm not too sure. It doesn't say there's...
I've amused myself, Brendan.
yeah.
Please join in.
It's pun humour. I get
know.
it. We move on. I acknowledge it. I've put a pin
okay.
in it. A bit like the Swingers Festival. So 1,000 swingers
Descend.
on Allington. Allington's population is only 897. So
And how many? So there's more swingers than normal people.
Yeah,
and
so-
I'm happy to say normal people.
I could see why the residents would be a bit bent out of shape about this. And the village is nice. It's, think of thatched roofs and things like
so
that.
is your thatch. It's a
Get
phrase you hear there a lot that weekend. And what form does the festival take? Do people camp?
I'm glad you asked. Yes.
It's a little intense. I'm going to keep going until you crack, Brendan.
Yeah, till I crap.
Until you crack.
All right. I think that's another 10 for the weirdos.
It's another festival.
The 3-day festival goes for 3 days, and this is what they've got. They've got frisk play tents.
What?
Frisk play
So
tents.
you're going to a tent
Yep.
and there's frisk play inside.
Yep.
Okay.
Pole dancing.
Right.
We're not talking about Polish people dancing around in traditional costume.
Yeah, what about the lap dancers from Lapland?
Foam parties.
Oh, come on. Hope it's foam.
Mobile dungeons. How does that
Imagine
work?
the
Is that like
construction
a-
workers who have to set up. It's
Yeah,
like a
but-
jumping castle, but it's probably a dungeon.
Well, I suppose they'd assemble it on some sort of trailer, but
Yeah.
the trailer would have to have reinforced suspension.
Imagine if
because
you've given
dungeons
thought
are
to
heavy.
how are we going to make this mobile?
You make a mobile.
And also,
Dungeon.
do you put it below ground or is it just woo goody like the ghost train?
Well, you couldn't do
It's an approximation of a dungeon.
It's just paper mache
Yeah.
and Dracula with
Yeah.
2 red globes for eyes.
Yeah.
And sex games like
Like what? Tell me.
butt plug bingo.
No. How does that work?
Well, I'm not too sure. Imagine you're sitting there and yeah, there you go, bingo.
Oh, you think bingo? I got the moving one. Do you think?
Yeah, I guess so. I understand
Legs
that
11?
Grant Tenure's been slated toasted. Anyway, there's been noise complaints in the town of Allington because of this, because of the aforementioned 1,000 swingers.
Which is the noisy bit?
Well, that's what they
At least
said.
they're not folk singers.
The noise complaints came from, and it says here, conservative locals who didn't like the sound of ear-splitting orgasms. You know, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Would you feel prudish if you complained?
I remember, yeah, you would.
Dear prudish.
I remember years ago.
Here we go.
I was working down the snow, and we all had our individual rooms, but latecomers to work down the snow had to share rooms with other people. And there was a guy called Pommy Paul, and he was a bit of a pants man. Anyway, come, hey, bro, can I borrow your room? I've got a sure thing. And I went, yeah, sure, mate. No, I'm not doing anything. So anyway, he's down there and he's tuning this young lady. And
tuning her?
Having sex, yeah.
Where did you start using this language? I've never heard
tuning
you
the
say
young
that.
lady. What else do you say?
I've never courting, please.
He was courting this young lady.
Thank you.
In my room. So anyway, I'm in the common room where we'd hang and watch videos and things like that. And then I just noticed people heading down the long corridor to my room. And I thought, what's going on? This must be a party. Because it was down in the snow. Everyone was right into it.
Into the tuning.
And I've noticed that they're all going down to where my room is. And they're all sort of listening at the door. And I'm wandering down and you could hear this orgasmy woman. Oh, yes, 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 yelling out. And one of the people goes, oh, geez, look, Jonesy's doing all right in there.
And you're standing next to them.
And he looked at me and he goes, hang on, why aren't you in there? I said, mate, I haven't even got in there yet. Imagine how she's going to go when I go in there.
Do men like that? Big, loud noises? Ouch.
Yeah, you don't want commentary, that's for sure. Like, I'd imagine you, I think sexually, and I don't want to put this into your head, but I think you would be someone that there'd be a bit of commentate.
Like what?
Oh, what are you doing now?
Oh,
I think there'd be
You'd be.
There'd be too many questions.
You'd be, look, let me just do it. Look, get out of the way, let me do it.
I'll just do it myself.
And then the sound of us fighting.
Hey, 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 get ready, everybody, here's some more of Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Hey, 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 are you ready for more? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
On the cutting room floor, it's been some time since we spoke about Brooklyn Beckham.
Oh, have we ever spoken about Brooklyn Beckham? Actually, we may have spoken about the feud.
Yeah.
Brooklyn and his wife are supposedly having with the rest of the family.
What's the story there? Because his wife is a big Richie.
She comes from a very well-to-do family.
Yep.
Her father is a billionaire.
But his mum and dad aren't on the bones of their bum, are they, really?
I don't
Victoria and David.
No, I don't think it's about money. But I do think, I wonder if, and I'm just completely speculating here, when a young man like that is trying to assert himself and you're living under the umbrella of very famous parents, it's easy to see why he might want to distance himself a little bit, but I think it's all been taken very personally. There was some story, don't quote me on any of this, there's a story that one of Brooklyn's brothers knew her girlfriend got into a fight with this girl, or she knew him beforehand, or something like that.
I am quoting you on this.
So there is some background to a skirmish, and then people have taken sides.
Families, eh?
Families.
And didn't Victoria at the wedding wear like a wedding dress?
No, I think the story was, and I don't know how true any of this is, that she offered Nicola Peltz, who is Brooklyn's wife, a wedding dress, and she said no, she was going with her own design because she's a model and a character herself.
Yeah, okay.
Going with a design from a designer she'd found herself.
Victoria didn't run it up on the faff, did she?
You know, she's a famous clothing designer.
Yeah, but she doesn't get on the faff.
No, but a Victoria Beckham design is much sought after.
Is it really?
Did you not know that?
No, where do you get Victoria
She's almost as rich as, she's probably richer than David is.
Okay. Where do you get Victoria Beckham's clothes from? Do you head to Wombat?
Yeah. No, you get one of her new fleecies.
From Lowe's?
At Lowe's.
Can I just, why does someone call a haberdasher Wombat? Have you just given up all hope?
Haberdasher is hats, isn't it?
No, haberdasher is clothes and stuff.
No, I think you're thinking of Manchester. Manchester is sheets and towels.
If you're dressing up for the clan.
Flannelette for winter.
No, a Milner is a hat person.
Oh, what's the word you use?
Haberdasher.
I'm going to Google the word haberdasher.
Because this is a podcast, so you could take forever.
No, don't. I'm going to do it in real time.
See how quick draw my Google. Let's see how good.
Haberdasher.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay,
what's haberdashery? Haberdashery refers to small sewing items and accessories used in garment making.
There you go.
Quilt. No, it's not clothing. And quilt. It's like buttons, zippers, threads, needles. It's not. You don't go to a button shop and say I'd like to buy a dress.
Yeah, but you dig my threads.
Oh.
Anyway, Brooklyn Beckham.
Yes. Where are you going with this?
Has disgusted fans with a cooking ingredient. And it's nothing that it's nothing that we do on TikTok.
Disgusted. People use the word disgusted very lightly.
A little bit.
Days.
I think so too. When people say, "Oh, the the bridge toll is disgusting. Well, no, it's not. It's expensive.
Or people say social media was disgusted.
Yeah.
I don't think, short of poo as an ingredient.
Yeah, a big shit sitting on a piece of bread on your breakfast table. That's disgusting.
What's he done? Exactly that. Actually, that is disgusting.
He's left fans disgusted.
Why? What's he done? He's not cooking with disgusted and that custard, is he?
No, he's shared a video of him cooking a pasta dish using water from the ocean.
That's disgusting.
I don't see the big deal. What's the biggie?
Did he go to the beach and scoop it up?
Well, very relatable to us all. He's on his private yacht.
Right.
And he's got the scan pan out and put it into the ocean, and he's used a bit of it to cook up his pasta sauce. Because Brooklyn fancies himself as a bit of a chef.
He is a chef. He doesn't just fancy himself as that.
Hang on, is he a chef?
The hard thing for Brooklyn is he's tried a number of careers and be very hard, as I said, being the child of those two people.
Sure.
He's tried being a chef, a photographer. He had a book out. He gets probably financial support in ways other kids don't, but he was working as a chef for some time.
So what he does is he fills up the pot with seawater, then takes it into the boat's industrial kitchen. So it's not just
so he's actually only heating up the pasta.
Industrial kitchen.
And he's heating up the pasta.
Yeah.
So he's not using the seawater to drink.
No.
He's boiling the pasta in the seawater.
If you drink seawater, you go crazy. Yeah. Old seamen will tell you that. When I was in
fresh seamen, that's disgusting.
Okay, that's disgusting. When I was in Scouts, they taught us how to separate seawater from get the salt and then the water. You're stuck in the bush, or no, you're not in the bush. You're stuck in the sea, and you could.
You didn't get that badge.
I was in Sea Scouts.
You did not get your Sea Scout badge.
You get like a thing of seawater,
and you boil it, and you're left with salt.
No, and what you have to do is you boil it and you're left with salt, but you want to catch, you don't want the salt because you got plenty of that.
But you want that for your pasta. You do want the salt.
No, I don't have an industrial kitchen on my raft that I've made out of from the bones of my fellow scouts. All I need to do is get some fresh water. So you boil the water and you put a plastic thing over the top of the water.
I've stopped listening.
And then there's other condensation. So the condensation forms, drips down, and you get water. That's how you capture the water. Sorry, if you're Bear Grylls, maybe stick to drinking your own
urine. Yeah. That's disgusting.
That is.
Hey, get ready. Everybody hear some more of Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.
On the cutting room floor, you've heard of raw dogging.
Which version of raw dogging? The Urban Dictionary version?
No, raw dogging on a plane.
Oh, so this is where, and it seems to be the domain of young men. You sit on a plane. You don't listen to music, you don't watch a television show, you don't stream anything, you just go hardcore, nothing, look straight ahead. I think you're allowed to look at the flight path on the screen and that's it.
No.
I thought you were allowed to do that.
No, you just look at the back of the seat. I would say it's being a big tight ass, so it's a way of saying I can't afford to pay for another class other than economy, so I'm going to raw dog it.
But in economy, you can watch things and do things and take your iPad and stuff.
I choose to raw dog this.
I've seen a whole lot of women travelling with small children going, I dream of 6 hours of zoning out and not looking at anything.
Yep. Okay, so forget raw dogging.
Okay.
What about naked flying?
What's that?
It's taking plane travel to a whole new level.
Oh, is this a Mile High Club kind of thing?
No, nothing to do with that. Naked flying, in fact, has nothing to do with being naked. So put your pants back on, Amanda.
Sorry, I went early.
What it means is you get on the plane with zero baggage.
So, emotional or otherwise?
Just your actual otherwise baggage. So you just got your wallet, your phone, your charger, and the clothes you're wearing.
And that's all you take on your trip?
Yeah, because people are getting jack of paying big excess baggage fees. It can be up to like $200. So what people are doing are putting the outfit they're going to wear for the whole time that they're in wherever they're going, and so be it.
Also, you know what people are doing, and I've seen them do this, is that they wear every single item that they want to take on the plane.
Yeah.
But also what this does is because people are taking hand luggage as luggage. So the overhead lockers are just jam-packed.
Yeah.
Because people don't check luggage in anymore. So it takes ages for people to board and to put their luggage up the top because everyone has a suitcase now that they take on board. But I've heard of this where people will wear 5 jumpers and 6 skirts and whatever so that they don't have to pack them in a bag.
You look a bit like Osher Ginsberg when he put on a bit of condition.
Oh.
Remember that picture there?
Me.
Well,
He's sensitive. We all would be sensitive to that.
I didn't take the picture.
No,
and he
but
looks
don't
great
talk
now.
about it.
Well, have you seen him lately? Have you seen his rig? He looks great.
Yeah. So what you do though is you wear all those clothes and take like a little zip-up tiny bag, like a shopping bag.
Yeah.
And then when you get on the plane, you go to the loo, put all your clothes into that.
I've always travelled like this. I've always been.
Can I guess what kind of traveller you are?
Go on.
And hand on heart, you have to answer it correctly.
Okay.
And honestly.
Hand is on heart.
Does your wife pack your clothes?
No.
I bet she does.
My wife has never packed my clothes.
Look at me in the eyeballs, promise.
Hand on heart, my wife has never packed my clothes ever because my father was an airline pilot, and what would it used to happen is we'd always be on the standby list. So he'd say, you have to be dressed up well, tie, nice shirt.
As a kid?
Pants, yeah, because sometimes you get on the plane, you might be in economy or you might be up in first class. And one time I'm sitting next to Mel Gibson on the plane.
How old were you?
I would have been about 12, and this is when he was a big deal.
And he was dressed in thongs, and there you were in your tie.
And he was there. He was in the middle row. Mum talked to him. Mum was obsessed with how short he was. Gee, he's so short, he's so short. I said, Mum, what are you doing? Shut up.
Did he feign some kind of sleeping sickness?
No, not at all. No, he was very accommodating, you know, and he's a very charming man. That's the only time I've ever met him in my life, but he was very charming. You know, I wasn't a police officer or anything getting yelled at.
Didn't call you sugar tits or anything?
Didn't call me that.
No.
Inappropriate to a 12-year-old boy. But my point is, we could be in first class, we could be in economy, we could actually be bumped off the flight, not get to fly at all.
And have to go home in your little suit and tie, little
I'll say
tuxedo
this,
that you'd worn to the airport.
I'll say this, that never happened in my whole time as...
What an ugly boast this has become.
No, it never happened.
Me saying to you, does your wife pack? And suddenly go, oh, no, I sit next to Mel Gibson. I've never been bumped off a flight. I've travelled with you on a very short flight and you'll order 18 beers. So things have changed.
Well, I do understand.
You pretty much wear thongs now.
I do understand how it all works. Always greet the hostie with a warm smile.
And they love being called a hostie. Not.
I always go, g'day, love, how are you? Mick Dundee.
Mel on board.
just in town for a few days. I can't be as bad as my mate who goes onto the plane. He goes into the gift shop.
It's a terrible story.
And he buys a bag of Minties.
Minties. No one likes Minties. No one. Actually, we should put Minties to our pub test. Who likes Minties? No one.
They're a very divisive sweet. Anyway, my mate, he goes onto the plane with a bag of Minties, and it's not opened, but he'll go up to the head hostie and say, hello, love, how's your day been?
Hello, love. Everything is about this story I hate.
And she'll say, oh, I've had a terrible day. You know, Canberra was terrible or Brisbane was terrible. And you go, here you go, take this bag of Minties and, you know, make sure you give them to all your mates. And then he gets the best service.
Oh,
that's what he reckons.
What service would that
Just,
be?
you know, drinks.
In his lap.
Drinks, upgrades, things like that. Maybe an extra meal.
Bag of Minties.
Maybe an extra pasty. You know those little hot pasties that you get on the plane? Or one of those Byron Bay cookies. You know those things? They've got tons of them. You know when they say, oh, we're out of cookies? They're not out of cookies. I've got billions of them. So I haven't done it myself because I said, I want you to walk in with an open bag of Minties. He goes, no. You can't walk in with a bag that's opened. It has to be sealed bag.
It's a special gift to them.
And also the fact that you bought it from the airport, so it cost you $50 for that bag of Minties. That's what's appreciated. That's the other thing. You got to leave the sticker that says where it came from in the airport. Are you writing this down?
I think his mistake is A, arrogance, A, love, blah, blah. Share it with your mates, your hosty mates. And Minties. No one wants Minties.
Yeah, I know that
if it was a more desire, you may as well just get those mint-flavoured leaves, spearmint leaves. No one wants it.
I know that you never turn right. You're straight up the front next to the pilot with your pants off.
Even if it's a tiny plane, I sit on his lap and say, no, I'm not budging. I'm not budging.
Hey, 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 everybody, it's time for Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Hey, 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 Everybody, it's time for Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. It's the cutting room floor.
Here we are on the cutting room floor.
Let me tell you a story, not about a man named Jed.
Poor
or
Mountain
man
Man.
who barely kept his family fed.
Shooting
Not
up
him.
some food. Bubbling crude.
That,
Beverly Hills.
in case you're under the age of 100, that's the theme to the Beverly Hills Billies.
Yep.
But no, it's not.
Back
what
in the
we call
days when TV shows explained the whole premise of the series in the theme title.
Yeah,
Imagine they did that
didn't
with
they?
Married at First Sight.
What about, what about, the Brady Bunch? You hear the, story of this, it's a story
exactly.
of that.
Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it.
These days, though, because we're streaming all those shows, they have previously. I always watch the recap in case
Yep.
I've nodded off.
I love Previously. Back to you.
Back to me. Let me tell you this story and we'll discuss it at the end. This woman is on a plane and she's posted a video on TikTok of, so she's sitting next to her daughter and someone's bare, dirty feet are propped up between them.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I've seen that.
And this clip has racked up more than 10 million views with lots of people saying that's disgusting. But a lot of people are saying, why didn't you say something? This is the new way. Rather than saying, oi, move your feet, you film it and upload it for content, for reaction, or isn't this dreadful? Whereas if you actually want action about it, don't do it retrospectively. Say at the time, can you move your feet?
I think it's rage bait as well.
Yeah, I think it is because
There's
we all
a-
need to go, that's disgusting.
But it could be someone she knows sitting in the back. So you just imagine that.
Why?
Well, it could be a friend of hers with the feet there and you don't know what she's filmed, what she's giving out there. She might have gone, I'll have a look at this, tickled the feet, or go, oh, you're tool, you've done that. But then the bit that she's actually filmed is a bit that has no context. So you think it's a stranger. This happens a lot with a lot of, I've just noticed a lot of rage bait. So that's how because people always go to the negative. They're not going to go with Amanda Keller wins an award for being a great person.
That story never gets pretty.
They're going to go with Amanda Keller pooped her pants
Did I?
in Hay Street.
You said you wouldn't mention it. Very specific
And people-
street. Why have you mentioned a particular street?
What's around in Chinatown? There's always going to be, But you know what I mean? People always
I know,
go to
that
the
is
negative.
True. But having the other side of this story is, yes, why don't you just say, do you mind moving your feet? But every day we see people being filmed on planes, usually in America, who are going berserk.
True.
So do you want to start a giant fight? You're either fully aggressive or you're letting this stuff happen to you and you're posting it afterwards.
It's curious.
We're in two camps.
We've been content creators for a long time.
Oh, listen to us. You make us sound like we're doing something important.
No, but we have. We come up with stuff and been doing it for a long time and we know how to build a story arc and all that junk that radio consultants love. But I will say this, everyone's doing it now. And my wife made this
outraged?
point. Well, a friend of ours is over in Europe and she was sending pictures of her in Europe at the various locations. But then one of the pictures was out of whack. So she had London, Amsterdam, Germany, etc. But then she's gone London, Amsterdam, Germany, and then a picture of back to London. And Helen said, well, it's all out of order. She hasn't put it in a chronological. So our friend has obviously found a picture of her outside Big Ben and thought, I forgot to post that. Do you know what I mean? We're becoming, in my world, when I go on a holiday or something, and I don't usually post pictures of when I'm on holidays, but I keep it in the timeline.
Yeah.
That's how you sell the
So
story.
your friend is an amateur.
Yeah, because she's not, she's just a mum with 3 kids and she's on a trip, but she hasn't thought about what she's posting.
Does it matter?
No, not at all. No, what I'm noting though is people are getting more adept to what they post now. So rage bait, people know that gets the clicks, that gets the likes. As sure as that's why you'll see any girl like Erin Molan, for example, will be wearing a revealing outfit to talking about the terrible things that are going on in the Middle East. And you think, well, why do you have to be in a bikini top to tell us this story? That's what gets you over the line.
But this woman who's filmed the
they
feet.
used bikini girls to sell tyres to house paint in the 70s and 80s.
And what I did in Hay Street.
That's what they're doing now.
But for this woman, you're right, we don't know who she is. This woman who got 10 million views.
You don't know
for
the story
feed.
of that.
You think she's just a regular person.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that, because to what advantage is getting 10 million views?
I can't answer that.
And you certainly don't want them if you're at a Coldplay concert.
No. And no one's monetarising that. Joe Blow isn't monetarising that. I know that I've got a friend of mine who's got with his work, he, Omo does
Yes.
the boats. So he's got this boat that rolls over and rights itself. and that's got 1 million views on YouTube.
And does he get things from that?
He's made $2 out of it.
And how do you make that?
Well, that's from the advertising. So, and I said, well, you've got to set up a deal. They'll talk about how YouTubers make all this money, but it's about the content that we create. For example, this just happened to me recently. I was at my local BWS, went to get a carton of beer, and on the door was a back in 5 minutes. I went, oh, okay. How many 5 minutes is that? So I just started filming that and filmed how long 5 minutes had been by my own watch. 5 minutes turned into about 8 minutes and 9. Then I stopped the tape at that point, and I thought, well, I wonder what's going on here.
Well, he or she may have left half an hour before.
Well, what I did, no, the shop was open. It was well within opening hours. I will say
yeah, but when they say 5 minutes, from when?
Yeah, I know. No, but I stood there for the length of 5 minutes,
right.
Recorded it, so it was way beyond 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I started thinking, hang on a minute, and I was about to post, when you wait for, and in my mind I had an outcome for this post, but I thought, hang on, that's weird that this is close because all the lights were on in the shop, but there was no one in there. So I walked around the back of the whole shopping complex there, came to the back. What had happened was he was loading, the beer delivery had come, and one of the pallets had slipped, and there was beer everywhere. And the young fellow was stressed. I went, oh my God. And he said, oh, what am I going to do? And I said, mate, I told you, you go. He said, I can't leave this here. I said, you go into the shop.
I'll drink this.
No, and I'll just
giant crazy straw.
You just go into the shop and I'll talk to you because he was, he was snowed under. And he said the pallets tipped over. And I said, he said, I just need another pair of hands. I'll buy myself. I said, mate, I'll mind this with the truck driver. You go and.
So you're right. It's not
but
necessarily. You could have mocked the shop.
Mocked the BWS, and that would have brought all this hatred on the guy.
Yeah.
Having said that, I could have filmed exactly what happened as well, but I chose not to because I didn't really think about it because something real was happening. I always think about those people that film, a horrible thing happening, someone getting bitten by a shark or something. How, is it? And people say, oh, but you just stood there and filmed it. You didn't jump in and rescue the person. You're not going to jump in and rescue that person because you'll get munched yourself. But do you film it? And then second to that.
Did you not film the beer because you wanted to slurp it up?
Yes, it was evidence.
And someone filmed you slurping it up.
Yeah. And then they licked my feet.
You could sell that.
You could.
Okay, kids, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow for more Jonesy and Amanda's Cutting Room Floor.